You know what my favorite day of the week is? Fridays. Fridays is sparring day, so I get to put my hands on people, hopefully hands and feet without getting them put on me. And I'm rocking my Archie Moore shirt, the legend, the old mongoose, born in St. Louis, but finished his career in San Diego, so he's kind of like an unofficial San Diegan. Anyways, in boxing news, Eddie Hearn, in a recent interview on Wednesday, I believe, with DAZN, he mentioned he'd be interested in a 5v5 between Matchroom and Golden Boy. Now, some of y'all might remember when they had the 5v5 Riyadh season between Matchroom and Queensberry. That was the epic card where we got to see Deontay Wilder get sent to the Shadow Realm by Big Bang Zheli Zhang. Kind of spun Deontay Wilder like a bottle cap. He did the pirouette like a ballet dancer. That was crazy. So in this possible 5v5 matchup, which Eddie Hearn mentioned, he'd be down to see Jaron Ennis versus Ryan Garcia. Not really too sure if I'm excited about that, but I'd be down to see Ryan Garcia get in the ring with Jaron Ennis. Even other possible matchups like Zurdo Ramirez versus Jael Pataya. But amongst other matchups, on Thursday, Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy, former U.S. gold medal Olympian and multiple division boxing champion and legend, did his Clapback Thursday series, which he does on his Instagram page. For those of you that don't know, on Oscar De La Hoya's Instagram page every Thursday, he does a Clapback Thursday series in which he takes shots at all the other promoters and any fighter who pretty much brings up his name, because that's what Oscar De La Hoya does. And it's kind of fascinating, to be honest. Oscar De La Hoya said he was down for the idea of a 5v5 Matchroom versus Golden Boy, but instead of Jaron Ennis versus Ryan Garcia, how about we have Jaron Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz Jr.? And then he said he'd be down to have Shakur Stevenson versus Cameron William Zepeda, but only if it's in a small ring. And there was actually quite a few other matchups that they mentioned. And of course, social media went wild. Shakur Stevenson gave his feedback. Then there was a video that surfaced of Bozy Ennis saying that that man, Virgil Ortiz Jr., was offered the Jaron Ennis fight and turned it down. Anyways, I'm going to talk about all this and more, of course, after sparring. Hopefully I'm not concussed, so I can put out a good video later on today. Anyways, I'll catch y'all in the studio. Let's chop this up.
Hey, hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's your boy, Hot Boxing Minute. Back at you again with that uncut realness. Even got a fat lip from sparring earlier. Did y'all just see what Keyshawn Davis did to that man, Gustavo Lemos, out there in Norfolk, Virginia? Yo, big round of applause for that man, Keyshawn Davis. He put that man down in the second round. He was putting the beats on that man.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
So I went to sparring, got 10 good rounds in, got fattened up in the lip a little bit. It looks a little bit red. That red coloring is because I got popped in the mouth. That's what I get. I talk a lot of nonsense. It is what it is. Either way, I got 10 good rounds in. Before we even begin this video, y'all, hit that like button. Press follow if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button for Keyshawn Davis. Damn, he put an emphatic stamp on that one. It was an entertaining fight card overall, pretty much a showcase affair. You had Robert Merriweather getting the unanimous decision. Both brothers of Keyshawn Davis, Kelvin and Keon, both got unanimous decision wins. You had middleweight Austin Dean defeating DeAndre Pettis via unanimous decision. The big jewel, the big gem, was that lightweight bout featuring the highly touted prospect Abduallah Mason. He defeated Johan Vasquez in that first round. We got to see Abduallah Mason get knocked down twice. That was bonkers. That was bonkers. He got back up. 2 more knockdowns occurred in that first round. And then the second round, Abduallah Mason finished off Johan Vasquez. A tough Dominican with a real nasty haircut. That was beautiful stuff. I guess at this point you check online for the kind of blowback for Abduallah Mason, because after Kid Schofield or Kid Austin's performance last weekend, of course a lot of boxing fans were trying to throw Kid Austin under the bus because he went the full distance in that very, very tough fight against Rene Teles Giron. And Abduallah Mason even got online and said, don't mention my name and all that good stuff. All the Abduallah Mason fans, because he's got huge love being out from that Midwest area. The Midwest Mafia loves their Midwest fighters. Well, all that Kid Austin talk kind of got silenced tonight. It was a good thing to see Abduallah get tested. We saw that kid, Abduallah Mason, hit the canvas twice off some hooks. Clearly, there is some defensive lapses that need to be addressed in his camp, but he showed a lot of grit, got up off the canvas, and even got the second round knockout. That is his 5th straight knockout. I do not believe at the present moment he is ready for someone like Kid Austin, but damn, that was an entertaining first round. My likely candidate and most people's picks for first round of the year, maybe even round of the year. Hold on a second. My throat is dried up. I took a 3-mile run after the sparring, and I'm even going to show you guys clips of the sparring. Not that I had today, but I will be trying to record sessions just to get footage to show people, I guess, for whatever sake. But Keyshawn Davis, ooh, that's a bad man. Gustavo Lemos, if you didn't know, missed weight at the weigh-in yesterday by 6.4 pounds. Good Lord. He came in at 141.4 pounds, a whole division up from lightweight. He weighed in as a junior lightweight, 140 pounds, actually over the junior lightweight limit. Like, I don't even know how to explain what that's all about.
Man, this is some bullshit.
You know, going into that fight, I thought it was going to be an interesting firefight. I had high hopes that Gustavo Lemos would give us a good performance. After he came in weighing heavy, I lost all faith in Gustavo Lemos. That is appalling, disgusting behavior. As boxing fans, we cannot support fighters that do stuff like that. We cannot condone people going into the ring or coming into weigh-ins heavier than they should be to try to give themselves an unfair advantage. That is not the business. We don't condone that. 2 thumbs down.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, that is definitely not the kind of tomfoolery we want to support. Either way, it didn't really matter. The next day weigh-ins, Gustavo Lemos did come in under 10 pounds rehydration, so I believe he was still no heavier than 145 pounds. I could be wrong on that, but something to that effect. They agreed that he met the second day weight check, and so the fight went down. It was an awesome homecoming affair. Keyshawn Davis came out with his family in tow. His 2 brothers had got the win earlier on the card. He had a marching band. You could feel the spirit of Norfolk, Virginia backing him up. Man, it made me feel a little something. I kind of was getting flashbacks of Pernell Whitaker, or just getting that vibe. Like back when I used to see those documentaries for Allen Iverson, like it was just dope. You could feel that the hometown crowd really loves that dude, Keyshawn Davis. Rightfully so, man. The kid's got a lot of personality, or the growing man. But Keyshawn Davis and DB3, very successful night. Second round knockout of Gustavo Lemos. The first round was a little bit of a feeling out round for both of them. Gustavo Lemos doing what we expected him to do. Come in charging like a raging bull inside a china shop. You had Keyshawn Davis with, of course, the OG trainer, one of the best boxing trainers in the game, if not the best boxing trainer currently in the game. Omaha, Nebraska's finest Bomac. Mr. Carry a pistol in a UK airport, but regardless, Bomac is that guy. And clearly they had a very good game plan. Keyshawn Davis said in the post-fight interview with Mark Kriegel that he felt an overhand right land on his shoulder, and he looked at his brothers and said, this guy's power is not what I thought it was going to be. And when the second round started, Keyshawn Davis laid down the domination, got a knockdown with, I believe it was a hook, punching in between Gustavo Lemos, and then he did a step back counter 2, and that was all she wrote. That was all she wrote. The referee waved it off because Keyshawn Davis was putting hands and feet on that man, Gustavo Lemos. Man, that was such an awesome performance, an emphatic stamp of a performance on the 135-pound division for that man, Keyshawn Davis.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
So, really quick, let's take a look at these lightweight rankings. What is the implications for Keyshawn Davis going forward? Well, they did mention Dennis Bedenchek, who is the WBO champion. Keyshawn Davis has one of those placeholder belts in the WBO sanctioning body system. Nobody knows what's going on with Vasyl Lomachenko in the IBF. Shakur Stevenson, that's his brother, who he has no intention of fighting, or at least he says, has the WBC. He has been calling out Gervonta Tank Davis's name for quite some time now. Obviously, everyone in the division wants that fight with Gervonta Davis because that is the bag man. That is the bag man that will get you paid. Now, we got William Zepeda, who's the placeholder right there. He's the top guy in all 4 sanctioning bodies, which is kind of notorious for holding that position now. In the Ring Magazine rankings, and I don't know how much this will change because nobody above Davis caught an L. You got Tank Davis at number 1. Nobody has that ring lineal. Lomachenko at 2. William Zepeda at 3. Shakur Stevenson at 4. Dennis Bedincek at 5. Raymond Murataya at 6. And that man, Keyshawn Davis at 7. No need to worry about the other people that are lower than him ranked in the ring sanctioning body system. I don't know what Keyshawn Davis is going to do next after this. He clearly wants that Gervonta Davis fight. I'm not even sure if Gervonta Davis wants to fight somebody as dangerous as Keyshawn. You guys already know how the protection plan works. If it isn't anything more than a 10-1, 11-1, at least betting favorite in favor of Gervonta Davis, I don't think he's going to take that fight. I don't see Gervonta Davis just jumping up to fight Keyshawn. We would love that, though. We would love if Gervonta Davis was to step up to the plate and put some oomph in that resume. Not that we don't acknowledge the Leo Santa Cruz win. Not that we don't acknowledge the Jose Pedraza win of 2017. But I would love to see Gervonta Davis in there with somebody the likes of Keyshawn Davis. Actually, I would much rather. Let's keep it real. Let me take that back. I would rather see Gervonta Davis in there with Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, or Devin Haney. That's all I want to see, but who knows if the boxing game is going to give us that. Maybe we end up getting the Keyshawn Davis versus Raymond Murataya fight. They were going back and forth, or at least Keyshawn Davis was mentioning his name. I've seen Robert Garcia mention it in interviews. They appear to be willing, in theory, to be down to have that fight. It'd be wildly entertaining. It would be Bomac opposite Robert Garcia. I'm not really sure if Raymond Murataya wants to do that because he's sitting in place waiting for his crack in the WBC sanctioning body system. He is ranked 2nd for the crack at Shakur Stevenson belt. In the IBF, he is ranked 4th behind Keyshawn and William Zepeda for Vasil Lomachenko's belt. So any of those fights would be highly entertaining. I would love to see Keyshawn Davis against any of them. Obviously, Dennis Bedincek, get that man a title. Big money fight with Gervonta Davis. He could fight Raymond Murataya. He could fight William Zepeda. That would be an interesting fight. I think Golden Boy is more interested in trying to get William Zepeda into a big money championship fight. But either way, awesome performance by that man, Keyshawn Davis. I didn't think it was going to go down like that, folks. I thought it was going to be a knuckle-dragging affair with a lot of action and a lot of sways and momentum. I didn't know it was going to be a one-side passionate ass-whipping where you get your shoes, jacket, and hat taken, but that's what it turned out to be, folks. That was wild. That was wild. So, once again, salute to Norfolk, Virginia's finest. That man, Keyshawn Davis, just got a crazy, crazy emphatic victory over Gustavo Lemos and put the whole division on notice. So back to what I was talking about. I'm going to pivot off the subject. Oh, before I do, what did you think about Keyshawn Davis' performance? What did you think about Abduallah Mason's performance? Let me know your thoughts on those two guys' performance in the comments section. What's Keyshawn Davis' next move? What do you think? What's up with Abduallah Mason? Where does he go from here? Do they, ease back on his step-ups and kind of let Abduallah Mason develop a little bit more? You let me know. I don't know what Abduallah Mason is going to do next, but clearly stepping up to the next level of difficulty might not be the correct move now that they know he might be susceptible to getting cracked with that left hook. So we'll see what's going on with that. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Now, the one thing that I was talking about in the gym earlier before the sparring session went down on Wednesday, good old Eddie boy, a spot or two crumpets, a little more food, so I'm awfully hungry. Yes, that man across the pond, Eddie Hearn, was in an interview, and he mentioned that he was interested in doing a 5 versus 5 Matchroom versus Golden Boy, of course at the expense of Turki Al-Alshi, because I don't believe anybody outside of His Excellency and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia can afford that kind of a fight, right? Because, boxing promoters, they ain't trying to put up competitive fight cards unless somebody else is footing the bill. Let's keep it a whole bean. So I wanted to put this up real quick. This was Eddie Hearn's idea of what he felt should go down. He wants to see a 5v5 Matchroom versus Golden Boy, just like he did with Matchroom versus Queensberry, where he got shut out and all of his guys lost to the stable over there at Queensberry. What a magnificent night for Frank Warren on that one. But he mentioned these 5 names. He's got Jerron Boots Ennis. He wants to see him versus Ryan Garcia. Kind of an odd pairing, but hey, Ryan Garcia really comes across as he's down for anything, given a little bit of alcohol and Osterine. Let's see Ryan Garcia. That would be hilarious. You know, hey, with that check hook he got, I mean, who knows? This would all hinge, obviously, on Jerron Ennis' performance against Karen Chukajin, which is tomorrow night in Philadelphia. But in lightweight, he wants to see Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. That's a no-brainer there. At super welterweight, he wants Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. Of course, he mentions Israel Madrimov with Virgil Ortiz Jr. as opposed to Virgil Ortiz Jr. with Jerron Ennis, because more fighters that he can get paid in his Matchroom stable. Now, in cruiserweight, he said Jai Opataya, Gilberto Ramirez. Gilberto Ramirez has a fight coming up, a title unification with Chris Billiam Smith. Jai Opataya just came off a pretty good performance against somebody that nobody wanted to see him fight in Riyadh season. Super lightweight, Eddie Hearn suggested Jack Catterall versus Jose Ramirez. So, you know, either way, I like all of those potential matchups. You know what I'm saying? Let's give a round of applause to Eddie Hearn for throwing out some really cool names on that one. And Oscar De La Hoya, the good old golden boy. Man, he's in an interesting place right now. He seems to be very happy in a mode where he doesn't care what anybody thinks. On his Instagram page, he did his Clapback Thursday special, took shots at Iman Khalif and the issue with the International Olympic Boxing Committee and the issue of whether or not her sexual designate. I don't even want to get into that subject because I see all sorts of misinformation on that, so I'm going to leave that hot button subject alone. But she's suing everybody, so Oscar De La Hoya better figure it out, because somebody with pockets that deep is probably lawsuit fodder for someone like Iman Khalif, who has constantly proclaimed that she is indeed a biological woman. I'm going to let that situation settle where it's going to settle before I even speak on that, because I do have some feelings on that. But I'm not going to sit there and catch a lawsuit. I don't got money for that kind of triv in my life. You underdig what I'm spamming to you, family. So, either way, Oscar De La Hoya chimed in. He said, I'm all down for the idea of a 5 versus 5. He said he wants to see Virgil Ortiz versus Boots instead of Ryan Garcia. Jaime Munguia versus Diego Pacheco, which I think would be a cool little matchup. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson versus William Camarón Zepeda. But he emphasized, got to be a smaller ring. You know, I don't know what the smaller ring is. 18 by 18? How small can they get? 16 by 16 is really small. 17 through 20 by 20, you know, it's a square. Something small, not the 24 by 24 special that Caleb Plant needs to go, you know, move laterally against Canelo, but something small, obviously, so they don't have Shakur pulling another Edwin De Los Santos episode on us. And he said the winner of the Jose Ramirez versus Arnold Barbosa match that's upcoming for the Latin Nights out there in Riyadh season versus Jack Catterall. And all those matchups are fun. I'm just going to throw it out there what I would think of these matchups. Virgil versus Boots. Damn, that's a tough one. We haven't even seen Boots at 154 pounds. At 147 pounds, I would have favored Boots over Virgil, even though Virgil has the better resume. But at 154 pounds, I don't know. Virgil has more experience. He just got done fighting Serhij Boacek. I might lean in favor of Virgil on that one. I need to see Boots at 154 pounds before I just make that kind of a decision. But nonetheless, I didn't study the footage. This is me on the fly, shooting the ish with y'all out there. Do you think Virgil would beat Boots or Boots would beat Virgil? Let me know in the comments section. Jaime Munguia versus Diego Pacheco. I think Diego Pacheco has looked amazing thus far, but I think Jaime Munguia has been in there with tougher competition. Obviously, he's been a champion before. I would lean in favor of Jaime Munguia, but I think that fight would be wildly entertaining. Woo, fire. By the way, Jaime Munguia just announced he's going to be fighting in Tijuana, and I'm probably going to pull up to that when I live like 20 minutes away. Let's go for fights in TJ. What? Tacos are fire. The alcohol is cheap. The women are beautiful, and the fight environment is awesome. I recommend everyone out there, if you are a hardcore boxing fan, at least one time in your life, catch a fight in Mexico. If you got the money, try to get out to the UK to see what it looks like to see a boxing-obsessed country really represent. It's awesome. I've been going to Tijuana bar fights for years. I went to Guadalajara to see Canelo fight John Ryder. I'm probably going to pull up to TJ to see Jaime Munguia. Oscar Duarte versus Devin Haney. That's kind of an odd pairing there. At 140 pounds, I would definitely favor Devin Haney. But also, we got that cloud. Like, how is Devin Haney's mental state? Is he still Devin Haney as we know it? Sometimes fighters, they catch the ass whooping of their life and they're not quite the same. Miguel Cotto got beat at the hands of Antonio Margarito, and he was never quite the same. Costa Tszyu caught a really bad whooping early on in his career, and then he ended up becoming undisputed at 140 pounds when he beat Zab Judah. So everyone reacts differently to getting crazy beat the way Devin Haney did. So I would still favor Devin Haney, but that's a shaky proposition because Oscar Duarte is a heavy-handed dude, but he's also heavy on the feet. Jose Ramirez or Arnold Barboza versus Jack Catterall. I'll be honest, y'all. I like Jack Catterall in that. Jack Catterall is riding a wave of confidence. He beat Josh Taylor arguably twice. Just got done beating Regis Prograis. And Jack Catterall has that feature, that quality about him. He will not hesitate to stink up a fight in order to win. And that's a dangerous person to fight. He's got an educated jab. I would lean in favor of him. As far as the Eddie Hearn fight cards, obviously I would pick Jaron Ennis to beat Ryan Garcia. Shakur versus William Zepeda in a smaller ring. That's a tough one. I think I might have to lean Shakur Stevenson in that one. But not confidently, man. El Camarón is one tough dude. That volume could present major problems. We saw when Floyd Mayweather had that first fight with Jose Luis Castillo. Jose Luis Castillo was an output guy with a lot of volume. You know, we've seen Marcos Maidana throw out that awkward volume. But we've never seen an output monster like William Zepeda, but we've also never seen Shakur Stevenson against someone like that. But I would favor, just off the top of my head, the heavier boxer in that one. Super welterweight Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Israel Madrimov. Boy. Virgil Ortiz Jr., he needs to run it back with Serhii Bohaychuk because that was a close fight indeed. I'd probably lean in favor of Israel Madrimov to win that by decision. Don't be mad at me, folks. Don't be mad at me. Hayo Pataya against Gilberto Ramirez. I don't think anybody in cruiserweight beats Hayo Pataya. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about any of these picks. Am I out of my mind? Am I disrespecting Virgil Ortiz Jr.? I don't know, y'all. I'm not here to pander to anybody. I can only tell you what it is I think in my views, y'all. But yeah, so I think it's a great idea. I think it is inevitable that we see that Matchroom versus Golden Boy fight card. What do you think about those potential matchups? Oscar De La Hoya's, response to Eddie Hearn as far as having Virgil versus Boots, Munguia versus Pacheco, Shakur versus, Camarón in a smaller ring, Oscar Duarte versus Devin Haney, and Catterall versus the Jose Ramirez versus Arnold Barboza winner. Let me know what you think, folks. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I'm going to end the video on that note once again. Keyshawn Davis, this is Keyshawn Davis's night. Good God, that was an amazing performance. Anyways, I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Till the next time, y'all. This is Hot Boxing Minute. Peace out.